did you get from the film Ghosted?
So I thought it was really good. It was, I mean, Chris from the Captain America stuff. So it's good to see him in other things and kind of playing the opposite role of being kind of the lead hero. And Anna's always, she's good, everything that she's been doing lately. So I thought it was really fun. It was a kind of goofy movie, spy movie. I guess you can call it comedy, romance, even. So I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it in some parts, but this movie got more ridiculous as it went on.
Oh, I thought it was too silly.
Yeah. Just the premise of all of this going on, just on a whim.
I mean, yeah.
It gets very ridiculous just from the start. And this reminds me of The Gray Man, because these two actors were in that movie.
Okay. They were both in it. I think The Gray Man was way more fleshed out and even as funny as it was more serious. And I might have preferred them both in that movie, actually. You compare those two. I would have to compare this to movies like Uncharted or the other Sandra Bullock one with Melissa McCarthy. Spy something.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
It's a couple years old. Maybe we didn't watch that one together, but it's one where Sandra Bullock is the spy, and Melissa McCarthy is kind of just like a desk agent. But she makes her way to the field to rescue her. Yeah, it's really goofy because it's Melissa McCarthy. It has to be. But I feel like this was in like that category of film, maybe in 21 Jump Street a little bit. I didn't take it too seriously as an action movie.
Yeah, you really can't take this one too seriously because it gets very ridiculous. Chris Evans, he plays a shy guy who turns into a murderous killer somehow, and he can fight very well.
He does have convenient strength. You're right about that.
He's not trained at all.
For a beekeeper. No, they didn't even like pretend like he knew martial arts or something like that. He is just a beekeeper and
a farmer,
but with trained assassins.
Yeah, but yeah, it's kind of a role reversal also when you look at it.
Very much so.
Anna de Armas, she plays as the secret agent who's a very good fighter, strong, independent, all that. And then you have Chris Evans. He's really shy, doesn't really know how to build relationships, have a girlfriend for an extended a period of time. And
he doesn't play quirky that well. Also,
it doesn't come off well.
No, it does not come off well at all. He has to try really hard to be the kind of nerdy person.
Do you like him better as the Captain America type or the bad guy?
I really liked him as the bad guy in both the movie we just talked about.
The Gray Man?
Yes, in Gray Man and in the murder mystery movie.
Knives Out.
Yes, Knives Out. I think he's good at doing that. Captain America, I mean, he's good at that too, but Captain America, most of the movies, not I guess the last three, but most of the films he's in, it's so like Boy Scout. Like it's not great, but as far as being able to judge and act how good they are, but in the later ones where he had more of a personality, I guess in Endgame and Infinity War, yeah, he did really well in those. So he makes kind of a passionate leader. But you could also argue that he was not the villain, but since Civil War, he was acting a little bit outside the scope of a traditional Captain America. I mean, his suit was darker. He had a darker tone.
Yeah, I would agree.
Bad guy, but...
No, he's definitely not a bad guy. He was just fighting for what he believed in.
Against the power.
Yeah. But in this, I think he's out of his realm.
He can't be goofy for you.
No, he can't be really too goofy. I mean, he kind of can. I think
Would it
that's
have worked better if he wasn't so good at fighting? Like he was fighting like he was Captain America without any of the actual character development.
I guess. But he shouldn't be a good fighter in this, based on what he's presented as.
I mean, he's keeping up with the best of them.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if this movie takes place over a week or a few days, but there's no way he should learn all that stuff.
That's a good point, too. The timeline is a bit hard to follow, but he was definitely never trained at all. I mean, he killed a man on that bus the day he found out his wife was a spy. And he was okay with that. Like, he didn't, like, break down. They didn't have to talk about it afterwards.
You said you said wife?
You remember the part where he was, they were on the bus that was hijacked, I guess.
Yeah.
And he kicked the guy off the cliff. He was like, he kind of freaked out a little bit, but he was fine.
Yeah.
That's not a beekeeper's reaction.
No, it's definitely not. But yeah, I found this movie to be pretty ridiculous. Thanks for watching. And if you would like to be featured on our podcast, make sure to click the link in the description.